All right, so we're doing day 2 of parallelograms, last target, last day. Learning goals, you have 1. I can use my knowledge of additional properties of parallelograms and use those to determine the value of 2 variables given a diagram. So there's going to be 2 variables you need to solve for. Now, just so you know what a diagonal is a line segment that extends from one vertex of a figure to a non-adjacent vertex. So here's a vertex. Non-adjacent means it's not the next one over in either direction. All right, so in this case, they go to the opposite sides. Nice and easy. Okay, in a parallelogram, also, the diagonals bisect, which means to divide into 2 smaller but equal segments each other. So like this and this are congruent, and this piece are congruent, but they're not all necessarily the same. Okay, so keep that in mind. Each half of one diagonal would be equal to each other, but they wouldn't be equal to all of them. So let's look at the first example. So we've got to solve for x and y based on this in order to make it a parallelogram. So just remember that the consecutive angles, or the adjacent ones, whatever you are comfortable with, so meaning like this one and this one, or this one and this one, or this one and that one, so any 2 adjacent angles are going to equal 180. They're supplementary. So let's start with the pair that has the same variables to make it easier to solve for, because they both have y in it. So we've got 12y plus 8 plus 5y plus 2. So those are our 2 angles, and all that together has to equal 180. Now, I'm going to make a comment here just because I see this happening a lot when people are drawing in their line, or not drawing in the line, I should say. Combine your like terms. So you're not adding 12y to here and here. Okay, anything you do on one side, you have to do on the other side of the line. But anything that you can combine that's all on the same side, so anything like that is on this side of the equal sign, can be done and combined together. So like the 12y plus the 5y. These 2 give us this. The 8 and the 2 give us the 10. Okay, these are constants, no variable. These 2 have variables. Now we subtract 10 from both sides to get 17y equals 170. Divide both sides by 17, and we get y equals 10. All right, so now what we need to do, because now we solve for y, so we're good there, but we still need to solve for this x. So we've got an x we need to solve for. Remember that this angle, oops, it's a little sloppy. So this 2x and the 5y plus 2, those total up to 180 degrees. So we can do 2x plus 5y plus 2, but we know what y is now, so we take that 10 and we plug it in, okay? And that becomes 2x plus 50 plus 2. Combine these 2 together to get 2x plus 52. We're going to subtract 52 from both sides, which is going to give us, get rid of that, 2x equals 128. Then we would divide both sides by 2. Okay, that would cancel out that, and 128 divided by 2 is x equals 64. So now we have both our answers. We have our y, which we needed to find first, and then we have our x. All right, last example. We need to determine the values of x and y that would make the figure below a parallelogram. So again, remember what you know about sides and diagonals of a parallelogram. So the opposite sides are congruent in a parallelogram, so you set the x plus 7 equal to 2x minus 5, so that's jk is congruent to ml. And then combine like terms like we did a few units ago. So move all your variables to one side, your constants to the other side. So we're going to add 5 from both sides over here, which will give us x plus 12 equals 2x. To subtract x from both sides, 2x minus x is just x equals 12. For the diagonals are bisected, which means they're also congruent. So Jn is congruent to NL. So we set 6y plus 1 equal to 4y plus 9. Subtract the 1. You get 6y equals 4y plus 8. Minus 4y from both sides, and then divide both sides by 2. Okay? And that'll give you y equals 6. And that's it. So this next week we're going to be reviewing. You always have these. You can go back and watch again, and if you have any questions, you let me know.